means that they will be relegated out of Division 2. And of course, with then a win for Team Disillusion means they stick around for another tour.
Yeah, and for Team Disillusion, I think if they're able to stick around for another tour, they can try and iron out some of the issues they've had. We have seen what they've been able to do on Poke Gaming. Butterfly?
Is he dead?
No,
Okay,
dead shot
was
too
way
far
too
off
close.
That was a nifty little dead shot from Lonfer. I think that's last time I watched him play the Muerta, he was always able to consistently pull people back into him with dead shot hits. So if he's able to continually do stuff like that to a puck, I think that's one of the things that's very hard for pucks to react to is dead shot because of how fast a projectile moves. So if he's just in the right place at the right time and constantly getting fears back and towards a calling, then this puck can have a very rough time, and maybe it might be a BKB puck game, and that's when things could start getting dire when your puck needs a BKB, you know?
Yeah, without a doubt. So let's see how Lonfer's able to look. In particular, we'll get a nice read into it with the lane setup that he has. Going to be playing with Ranford Dow. And 3 bounties to start. So good way to be able to open up the game for Team Disillusion. I know we were mentioning the draft a little bit about the Lycan item build, in particular if he was played as a carry. What are we expecting out of maybe like a mid Lycan? Is there any difference you like there? Does he go like the offlane Helm the Overlord build?
I'm just trying to think of how good his summons are going to be this game, because I think that's generally going to be the conversation when you're not played as the right-click carry, is how good do you feel like your summons are going to be this game? I think they're going to be pretty good. I mean, Undying and Pugna hate playing into summons. Morphling's not that great into playing into them. Puck should be okay, just with how elusive that the puck can be, and Legion Commander has a lot of damage with the overwhelming odds, so I mean, I wouldn't hate to see a Helm of the Overlord. It gives you that extra bit of lifesteal for some of your other heroes. You can secure a lot of these towers with like a big granite golem and all that kind of stuff. So I definitely feel like Helm of the Overlord could be really, really good this game. So Aura build Helm of the Overlord into like AC could be pretty hot.
Yep. I really just, your call on the lifesteal was what I was going to bring up. Because I think we often see Muerta like live on a slither of health, pop BKB, pierce the veil, and then turn and just shred people down. And if you don't have the life sword to maybe get a little bit of health back, you could potentially die throughout that ultimate. So that's really, for me, the most appealing thing, along with all the issues that I think iG.Vitality will have to deal with the summons.
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting point for Muerta, because I'm not sure if, because we haven't seen all too much from it, obviously being one of the newest heroes, it's hard for us to really get a gauge about what is good and what is bad on the hero. I don't think many people have really solidified like a good build path for the Muerta. Understand that you need a lot of damage, you need some attack speed to be able to couple it up, and you need a BKB, right? So they're kind of the only real vague areas that you want to go for, and I think lifesteal could be a pretty important part. I remember seeing when people were building Mask of Madness, I was like, this is terrible. I was like, why would you want Mask of Madness? And then I'm like, oh, the lifesteal, as you said, is insane with Pierce the Veil. So yeah, that could be something that teams look for in the future.
Yeah, I think really the person that I'm seeing at least have the most success right now on the Muerta on the big stage is Shiro for LGD. So of course, you're going to look up to anyone in China as a carry player. That could definitely be the potential as a young rising star. And I do think he likes the Mjolnir rush. So we will see. We will see how that shapes up. But meanwhile, how are some of the other lanes going? We've spoken a little bit about the Muerta in particular. Quite impressed with how Butterfly Effect is going in regards to CS-wise. Oh, never mind. My bad. Top lane. Ponyo. Easy chase down. Is probably... Did you deny yourself? I think you try. No resources, no tangos left. Not a lot of mana as well. Surely Aaron just man fights this guy. What is he worried about? I was like, what's going on? Are you running away from him?
I think he wanted to try and give some of the experience to Aenid. Just getting the AoE experience would be nice. And Ponyo was trying to burn as much regen from Aaron as possible. So, I mean, that was interesting to watch. Support players have very small times for them to fight, and I think this is a good time for them to allow 1v1, try and show off some skills, I guess.
I thought you were going to say small brains. That's I have to cast for the support player. All I hear my Oh my god, dudes. Fucking support this, support that. What just happened? Alright, Haru just blew up Lonfer, and now Ranfu as well is getting chased down. To be able to catch up to him in another round of the odds. Alright, that's a big kill, because not only did you get both of them, but you are also probably going to miss a lot of creeps under the tower.
Yeah, TZY is absolutely obliterating him in this lane. Lonfer only has 11 CS, TZY has 25. And now they've been involved in 2 kills as well as 101. He's like, what, 100 gold away from his Vanguard? Like, the one issue that Muerta has is she's very reliant on Deadshot and the calling early on for her strong lane prowess. But, I mean, Vanguard's going to mean that any of those right clicks from the Muerta are going to be next to useless. So this lane gets rougher and rougher, man. And unfortunately for Lonfer, he may have to just go back to the old carry mentality of trying to hit 10 CS a minute as soon as the lanes are over. But, I mean, TZY is off to a really good start.
And you're going to have a Puck potentially rotating in your face as well. I guess maybe the one deterrent to Puck moving out of this lane is that if you do leave Lycan, he'll just take your tower. But we'll see how active Lycan even is looking to get as well. Double bracer into the treads. And looks like Butterfly Effect is very close to his own treads as well. Again, also super surprised at how well this lane is going, considering I thought Lycan would have a far superior damage advantage.
Yeah, I think Butterfly Effect has gone for a really cool build here. He's decided to go no levels in the phase shift just because he wants as much nuke damage as he possibly can. It's hard for him to kill the wolves because of how tanky they are. But if he's able to, you know, kill these wolves early on, much like he has just then just puts so much pressure on small KK to try and face tank and do it with his main hero, which is not really where a lot of Lycans want to be into something like a Puck.
If this catapult dives, they're going to get the coil. They might not even need it. All right. Very nicely done. Butterfly Effect in combination with Hara. A big kill onto the Lycan. This is a incredible start from iG.V. Where has this been for pretty much the entire tour?
I have no idea. I was talking with Snare about this in the previous broadcast we did, and I was saying that I think it's only really going to take a few of these games for iG.V. to get a lot of their confidence back. I think a lot of their series early on really put them kind of down in the dumps, and we've got some really good players on this roster, and that's why a lot of people were kind of surprised with how iG.V. have done this tour. So after their last series victory against Limit, like, they were 27-minute stomps, so they definitely feel like they're going to be in a really, really good spot to be able to take this, especially I think as a player, having like the destiny in your own hands kind of gives you that like little bit of extra gusto in a series, because you're not hoping and praying that somebody loses or somebody wins, right? So they just have to play their best to be able to have a fighting chance to stay in the tour.
They're definitely doing that to start this game. You ready to see the
experience room fight?
Well, at least Aaron's going to be able to glimpse away, Memal over to the right. And Fu also steals it too, so Team Disillusion, you're going to be able to strike back a little bit. It's a small minor victory, but both Wisdom Rooms will go their way.
Yeah, right. It's probably two of the best heroes to be stealing a Wisdom Rune as well. Like, you have a Spirit Breaker and you have a Disruptor. Glimpse and Charge are very hard things to be able to play against. Hara tried his best with the Decrepify, so he didn't have to stand there and face tank anything, but losing out, that is a little unfortunate. They do have a little bit more experience thanks to a lot of the kills that they've been involved in. But that could have definitely snowballed really hard. If they stole both of those, then I think now you'd be looking at Team Disillusion like
or
they
bottom
need
lane.
Like 4-man fight.
Secret from Hara makes it a little bit awkward. Easywise wasn't able to right-click inside the jewel. Now Aaron's going to be able to tip him. Should result in them getting a turnaround onto Hara's Pugna. Was a little bit awkward between the two. Meanwhile, mid lane now though as well. Small KK. Cole's going to be out. First one of the game for Butterfly Effect. Ponyo probably will go down to the Wolves, but of course that is a sacrifice that is well and truly worthwhile. Top lane now as well. You are doomed and you are dead.
Is it?
What?
Okay. I was going to say, I was like, that is taking far too long, and I think maybe now... Okay, they've got no more stuns. I was going to say maybe Hara can turn back around on Aeonid, but wasn't the case. Butterfly Effect, man, I mean, he's playing really, really well. I know he's been one of the players that you specifically have been a big fan of, but Unfortunately, the team hasn't really been able to go in favor of him, but he's always been one of those mid laners that is a very, very good laner. And I think he's kind of just been able to abuse the puck this time around and put a lot of emphasis on the small KK, who has, I feel like, kind of turned himself into like a melee mid specialist. He's been playing a lot of melee mids. He played Sand King, Darkseer, he plays a lot of Earthshaker, so that's something for these teams to think of for the remainder of the tour going into tiebreakers. But
oh, not again, Moeta. This time has to pierce the veil to prove to be enough of a deterrent. Might get the kill off the back of it. So close to going down. Hara needs another blast and he'll get in range to do so. Now, Butterfly Effect is going to show up for the remnants of this engagement as well and result in another kill. So iG.V. Yo, who cares about top lane? Just look away for the Doom. Look at mid and bottom and everything is going swimmingly for them.
Yeah, they're putting a lot of pressure on two heroes that I think are going to be able to play around the Doom as well, because everybody knows what Doom's going to do. He's going to get Vanguard, he's going to get Midas, and then he's going to sit back and farm until he has like 5 items. Whereas with the Lycan and the Muerta, they kind of don't have those big accelerants like the Devourer as well as the Hand of Midas that they usually build. So if you put a lot of emphasis on them early, then that just gives you, you know, kind of a 3-to-1 kind of core advantage, which is exactly what iG.V want to try and take some of these early towers and shut down the map for a Muerta. Ponyo's dead.
He is indeed dead. Uh-oh. Butterfly Effect is not. This boy ever so safe. Top of the net worth, Witchblade going to be completed pretty shortly. That is Shapeshift used for the kill, so let's see if they want to do something knowing this kind of big ultimates on cooldown for the Lycan. He really won't be able to get involved if they take a fight away from him.
Yeah, I think they're still waiting on some of their own items. Like, even though TZY had a really good start to the game, he's only got Vanguard Phase Boots, still a little bit away from his next item. Butterfly Effect is getting close to the Witchblade, so that might be something that they're going to be waiting on to try and just go towards some of these side lanes to try and shut down some of those other heroes. I would love to see them go gank along Fur once again. I think if you just keep killing this Muerta, she's just going to get into that scenario where she's never going to have like an extra item than your Morphling, where she really becomes such a pain to deal with in these team fights. And if he's constantly just trying to find that next item, then these team fights are going to have to be 4 versus 5, and it just gives Yukio enough time to become a Morphling, get into his Linken's, get into that Manta style.
We're going to become a Morphling. Yeah, that's all you need to say, dude. Just become a Morphling. I don't know what this hero does. Get to his true strength, and he is indeed a Morphling.
It's just, when you have such a dominant carry, it just, everybody knows it's just this little ticking time bomb where he gets like Ags and he has like a Linken's, and even though you doom him, he still has 4,000 HP because he got the shift off in time, and it just becomes so oppressive and so annoying to play with.
I really wonder who he actually uses Replicate on this game. You can go back kind of classic. I mean, Spirit Breaker is always nice just for the bulldoze with that status resistance, which only really, I mean, it stops a little bit of stuns if you get doomed as well. But I mean, really, I don't think you'll be the one getting doomed. So I really wonder actually who he's going to morph into, and even because do you see a good target? So do you even go Scepter then?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think here. So obviously, like, Scepter's generally always going to be good into Universal Heroes, just because you steal an additional set of stats from Universal Heroes. So you kind of
that's true.
Gimp a lot of their damage. But I mean, surprisingly, the int steal this game is not bad for Yukio, right? Because it steals spell amplification, so it does steal a lot of the spell damage that comes from Pierce the Veil. So, I mean, that's like some out-of-the-box kind of weird thinking for it. But, yeah, I probably would just say Spirit Breaker. I mean, I think Bulldoze is just absolutely broken on a hero like Morphling, giving him that much status resist.
You are a Spirit Breaker enjoyer, right? Am I missing
I love
that?
Spirit Breaker. Yeah.
Yes, okay. Yeah, one of those filthy animals. All right. Glad we got that out the way. IG.
Yeah, core player right there getting charged. Perma.
They would love to avoid Aaron. Unfortunately, they don't go all the way around. So, Aaron, beautifully done. Get back indeed. Not like you needed to tell the guy who was right there watching you die. That's okay. Gave him enough time for him to be able to retreat away. So, Aeonod's going to be chilling top of the net worth. He's going to go the Octarine build as well. So, this is just the farm game, it looks like, for Team Disillusion.
Yeah, I think that obviously tips me off to the fact that they're like, we can go late game. We have 2 heroes that can scale pretty well. I think Lycan does well with a lot of these stat items that he can build. Yep. And they feel like that the Legion Commander, much what we said in the draft, she hasn't had a duel victory yet. It's 13 minutes in, obviously, so there's still plenty of time. But the more time that you spend with TZY not having any duel damage, it just means that he gets more and more stressed out about getting that first duel victory and can force you to make mistakes.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It is a very weird feeling when you don't have dual victories that you need to just force the issue. So we'll see if he hasn't bought any of the blade mail components. We'll see if he just goes for the blink or not. We did just see another Wisdom Rune snipe from Ranfu Dao as well, and Ponyo is still only level 5, so they're even trying to drag the hard wave into the camp. Sorry, drag the Crete wave into the camp, I should say, so he's able to hit that level 6. He should be able to pretty shortly, but we are seeing it's a very big thing that Radiant supports. They have a lot of levels to work with this game.
Yeah, they do, and their supports love having a lot of levels, so Yukio is found out Aaron. Nice little replicate there.
Easy kill. Meanwhile, bottom as well. There's another freebie for small KK. So we're a bit of a ring around the rosy. Even Ranfu wants to try and yoink the kill. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, this is actually starting to become a bit of an issue for the supports of iG.V, right? Like, as you said, they've had a lot of their Wisdom Runes stolen so far. Ranfu Dao was level 8.5, while Ponyo did just tick over to level 6. So this Spirit Breaker is going to have some maxed out spells coming in very, very soon. And it could be a bit of an issue for them to try and get these fights going.
Whoa, there's a lot of damage onto the Doom. The high value kill with how much farm he's got. Any boys? Oh, what a blink! In front of the Doom, stops off potential any retreat. Blocking that escape avenue, and Aaron, when he started to TP in, Ranfu as well, but that is a huge kill for iG.Vitality. The blink reveal from Butterfly Effect goes the way they were hoping for.
Yeah, Butterfly Effect has had the perfect start to the game here on the puck, and he's really starting to take over the game, which is quite spooky now for Team Disillusion, because they really rely on catching him in like Static Storm, or even just hoping that he gets clipped by the calling. So that is kind of their one saving grace, that there is potential for Butterfly Effect to just kind of get clipped by the calling, which can be an issue for the puck. But the way that he's building so far, like he's already got Witchblade Blink 16 minutes in, means that TZY doesn't have to go for a blink early on the Legion Commander, and they can just kind of run around the map, and that's how they get a bit more of this experience back into their supports. Hara is caught up, which is good for them, and they want to try and get Ponyo involved as well. Dream Coil up in 8 seconds. They kill Aenid a second time here. Oh boy, things start getting real rough.
Radiant are scanning.
He does have SP at least close to buy this time. Disrupts the life drain as well, but it's just not gonna matter, man. My god, Butterfly Effect he's gonna be a real big issue as this game goes on now. You can start to consider about itemizing to something like a Lincoln's, which could be great against the Spirit Breaker and the Doom. So, I mean, you still have this kind of awkward disruptor potential, like a Static Storm out of the trees, but you are not just worrying about the Morphling now. This hero also is going to be a really big danger as this game goes on.
Yeah, I mean, DD Rune meant that they're able to just kind of push through the Howl damage reduction as well. So very impressive so far from Butterfly Effect. And this just kind of just sets the tempo up for iG.V.
Give me a jewel.
TZY, give him the jewel.
Going to charge, couple seconds. Can he get Coop with the Jukes? Oh my, wait, where are they TPing out? Because bottom lane, I guess Ukyo's in some danger. He's actually going to wait for me now. Into the boys are starting to move on over. Double glimpse action. Very cool. Nice kill.
Man, that was the Power Ranger stuff there. They all just like a hive mind just decided to go towards bottom. Butterfly Effect and TZY didn't go there though. So if they find Ranfu Dao kind of hovering around here, they can definitely get a kill.
Come on, dude. TZY's begging. Like, Butterfly Effect, come back. I see him.
He's scored.
He's trying to do the calculations though. You have to damage by himself.
There's a blade mail
nearby.
Oh no.
That was a huge Lotus.
Yep.
He's back at full. Man's got to turn. TZY, the calculations, no. They have not been correct. You are doomed, my friend. And now Lon Fair as well will TP in. He sees a freebie. And he's been silently farming up. This is Mjolnir completed, working on a Lincoln's, and that kill is going to get him a little bit closer.
Oh, this is exactly what we talked about, man. It's the stress of trying to get a duel victory. Like, if TZY had, like, I don't know, like 1 or 2 duel victories, he probably wouldn't have gone for it. He would have just TP'd out or just farmed a creep camp. But the fact that he has no duel damage, he was like, maybe this is it. And Rampant outplayed him, and oh yeah, man, that's so depressing to watch. Like, he just gets doomed and bashed under a tower. Oh, TZY.
Butterfly Effect, a bit of a pep in his step with the haste rune. Hoyle will still be... What is that life drain range? Are you serious, Small KK? Oh, he'll just stay alive, and look at the turnaround. Lonfair pumping in some damage. He's got to respect the blade mail, but it is not enough to turn it back into iG.V's favor, as they even get Hara as well on the outskirts, man. What a static storm from the Disruptor.
Yeah, Eren has always been one of those really, really kind of mechanically gifted position fours. Obviously, like, you're playing Disruptor, so you don't have that much skill expression, but I think his positioning has been a real big shining light for Team Disillusion when he plays things like his Shadow Demon, and now even his Disruptor, just being able to set up a nice little 2-man static storm is always big. And Lonfair was the big man in that party. He just walked up and said, all right, pierce the veil time, and he just obliterates everybody. And this has turned into one of those sad Legion Commander games, man. He's at 7.6k net worth. He hasn't had a single duel victory. He's not even close to a Blink Dagger. Like, TZY, unfortunately, is just having one of those games. He's giving space to Yukio, though, to be perfectly fair. He has Aghanim himself up now with the Lincolns, so he's starting to get towards that Morphling status, but it's about what the rest of his team is able to do around him. Yes, Morphling, very, very strong hero in and of itself, but when you're playing up against 3 very farmed cores, and especially a Muerto, it's going to be hard for him to try and fight in a lot of these team fights until he gets that BKB.
Yeah, and I think now really for both sides, we need to be looking at Roche. You've got the potential for Morph with Flesh Golem and Tombstone, enough said, and then Radiant, I mean, you can easily take it with the Lycan and kind of the build he's gone for. So it is currently down to the bottom side of the map, so it does make it a little bit easier for... I don't really know. I mean, Radiant, you can TP down with Outpost, but Dire, of course, still naturally play on this side of the map, so... It is still going to be contestable from either side, but it really feels like whoever gets set up first is always the one with a big advantage. So I think we need to start to see the supports put a little bit more emphasis on starting to ward and de-ward down bottom.
Yeah, I think you can kind of see with where iG.V are gravitating towards now, right? Like the fact that Ponyo's decided to come to this bottom side, got some sentries, wants to try and clear out a bit of the vision that TD have here. And they're wanting to really push in this bottom side of the map, so there's not really that much contention going on. Still a couple of minutes before Roche does flip sides, so you can try and play for that right now if they want. But I really think either team needs a pick off before they get into there, because even if you're set up first, it's very hard for you to try and get a good engage and then still deal with the Lycan that's kind of floating around. Like, Lonfair's almost at the point where he's extremely scary, so maybe this is what they need.
Speaking of the Lycan, there's going to be the blink reveal as well from TZY. Winner. All right, but it might be still disastrous as TD jump in with the reinforcements, and they will not hesitate with blowing up some of the members. Does look like Legion made it out, though. So TZY gets a jewel and gets to live the tale.
That was very, very close. They put a lot of their emphasis onto Butterfly Effect because they saw that he was doomed and in the Static Storm. And that meant that TZY was able to walk away. Blink's back up in a second now. It's about how much do they want to try and fight here without Doom and Static Storm. So that pierced the veil, so they're very, very strong on Lonfair, but they don't have the lockdown that he would like to have.
Nice vision for the glimpse back.
Yep. You're going to get more too.
And... can they?
Oh, I don't think everybody was on the same page there. Lonfair as well as Aeonid put their attention towards the middle lane, so they didn't feel like with both supports they could try and fight there. Especially with Butterfly Effect back now too.
Alright, well, get your first victory. Why'd you also pay the price for Legion in the end? This net worth continuing to grow though for Radiant, up to 5,000 now. We're getting closer and closer to some of these big items, and it's actually going to consider about a pipe. In fact, it is completed already, so a lot of extra resistance. Eren's even almost got a Blink Dagger as well, which is potentially going to be a puck answer. So we'll see what Butterfly Effect wants to do in response to this.
He's got himself a Kai and a Sanj. He's building in towards the Lincolns, so he's going to have to try and figure out a way to pop that Lincolns for Mr. Aenid, but they still have Static Storm to try and deal with the Park, which is a little bit unfortunate for him. And now with the Pipe coming in as well, they've got a lot of good auras for Lonfer to be able to play around with. He's got the Vampire Fang, so that's his little bit of lifesteal that he's able to play around with. I'm interested to see whether or not Ranfu Dao is going to go for another one of these auras, or whether or not they want to try and just continue to double down on a lot of the damage and control that they do have. But this net worth lead is starting to become a little concerning. I think Muerta is one of those heroes that is, if she's like a lot of net worth in front, like even if it's just like one item or so, it's going to be very hard for a lot of carriers to even fight her. Maybe with the Morphling BKB, and now obviously an Aegis on the cards. Could be what IGV used to try and bring back this 6k net worth lead.
Yeah, this seems like a huge window for them. I mean, like you just said, with Ukyo's items that he's about to get now. So let's see what the call is going to be for them. I mean, they really have some poor vision set up across the map, so it's not going to be easy for them to take a fight where you are ready to go in regards to an information advantage. So we'll see what the call is going to be.
I want to try and fight bottom. Ranfu Dao does have a Shadow Blade and don't really have good reveal. Yeah, a lot of those supports are just on the other side of the map or don't even have any. So Ranfu Dao gets out scot-free. They're going to put a lot of pressure on these tier 2 tower bottoms so they can start to clear out the jungle and then remove some more of those spaces for Lonfer to farm. But Lonfer is a farming machine, man. Like, this guy playing late game carries is exactly what you want him to be on. And he's done a really good job of just avoiding the fights and joining when he needs to. Getting a lot of this gold as well.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
We'll see when he's going to feel comfortable enough to shot to some of these fights. I mean, he's 6-2-3, so he definitely has been a little bit more active than I was expecting. But I mean, because now it's going to be iG.Vitality that are really the ones being proactive this game. I say that TZY gets hit by Ranfu Dao. I thought maybe the Doom was going to consider about jumping, but so what's the call now? You got the tier 2 bottom. Do you feel like tier 2 mid? That's just the next kind of assault for iG.Vitality?
Yeah, definitely. They could try and take down this tier 1 tower in the top lane just to try and give them a little bit more space against the Lycan, who, yeah, has the Aghanim shard now, which can be an issue for them if they don't have any of this extra real estate for their creeps to kind of push down. So I think you want to try and even out your lanes as much as possible, push out this top lane, try and get yourself a tier 1 tower, and then that can just lead you into getting towards this tier 2 mid. But they want to fight first. Not sure who they're wanting to try and kill here. They obviously would want to try and kill one of the big cores, but it's going to be hard for them to take down somebody like Small KK because look how much HP he has, man. Like, he's almost 3,000 life. Like, this is something I've been complaining about ever since Universal Heroes became a thing, is they do 400 damage, but they also have 4,000 HP. And they have the best items in the game in Harpoon and Manta. So it's like, what are you even supposed to do against a guy who does more damage than you and has more HP than you? You know?
No, that's a great question, because I was also complaining about why does my Void Spirit have 2,000 health at 16 minutes in, not even then. So yeah, no, I'm well and truly with you, brother. This is a fight we'll go to the end for. Yeah. These Universal heroes, put them in the freaking bin.
I like the idea, but it just needs to pull back their HPs. We don't want to have, like, do you remember, I can't remember what patch it was ages ago when they gave status resist to strength heroes? It kind of feels like that. Dumb. It's like, oh, they're gonna go this stat.
Off the left side, that's a really good angle from Aaron. Static Storm sets up for the Doom as well. It's a heavy commitment onto the puck, but it means that Lonfer can just go to work. This Muerta is really starting to be a huge issue for iG.Vitality.
Yeah, I mean, he's not even there for long. He throws out, like, what, a grand total of, like, 7 auto attacks and does almost, 3.5k damage. So this hero is disgusting when she is not the focal point of anybody's attack, right? And the fact that they initiated so well onto Butterfly Effect completely nullifies the puck. You don't have to worry about Dreamcore for your Muerta. You don't have to worry about her getting silenced. You don't have to worry about, like, a Blink Duel because TZY really relies on his other cores to do the damage for him. And that was just a sick catch. And I love that they had the initiative to just kind of go forward and just kind of see what they could find with this tier 2 tower. Aegis or not, they know that they're not going to kill the Morphling at this point in the game, but they kill everybody else, and then the Morphling just has to retreat.
Kill over an Arson with that going on. Get some objectives now. As a prize of that skirmish, you also stole a wisdom room as well. So that's 3 out of 4 of iG.Vitality's wisdom rooms that go the way of Team Disillusion. So we were seeing the praises of the supports and their levels. I mean, that's continuing to be the case. Ranfu Dao, level 16, man. 1 level behind the Puck, 1 higher level than the Legion. So he's going to scale to prove it to be a really big issue as this game goes on. I'm a Disruptor as well. You hit level 15, so extra static storm duration. These supports are pretty mighty.
Yeah, they're like 4 levels above Ponyo, and unfortunately for Mr. Ponyo, you're playing an Undying where you're behind and you can't really get people to stay inside of your tombstone.
Oh, okay.
Might be a big fight though.
But he just charged away from the team. The reinforcements were set up in the tree line. But as soon as he left from their face, I mean, you broke the formation, and now this is a fight that it's going to be solely up to Ukyo if there's any possibility from them to be able to come back. The Morphling needs to go crazy. And they're just toying with him, making sure there is never a free opportunity for him to right-click off inside the fight. And it means that Team Disillusion will once again have 0 casualties.
Yeah, it's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't for TZY there. He dueled the Doom, but Doom has 3,000 health, and like, you're not going to kill him. And unfortunately for him, he also dueled Aeonid directly next to Lonfer. So he popped Pierce the Veil and absolutely annihilated TZY. So that's just a hard fight to try and win. And you could see that there was a lot of time pressure from the fact that their Aegis was going to be reclaimed soon for them to try and get a fight going. But I think they're just too far behind right now, man. How are you going to kill any of these cores?
I don't know. Oh my god, look at Ukyo. Gotta be careful, my son. The crits are raining in along with the damage. His second death of the game is going to be an ever so costly one, because they'll get the full set of barracks mid, and they're going to look to top next as well. Oh, okay. I don't think you can duel anyone but the Moeta. I've been so surprised at how much damage Lonfer has done to himself with the Blade Mail, but he's not been dueled once. And they have 0 save on Radiant. I feel like there is no chance you ever win a fight unless this Moeta is dueled.
Yep, 100% agree with you. She's completely out of control. She hasn't even built BKB yet. She's 22k net worth without a single BKB against a Puck and a Pugna. It doesn't care about any of the silencers or any of the control that's going to be coming out here from IGV. And Lonfer has really just put himself in such a good position to be able to win this game. They've got themselves a whole lane of racks. Yes, Ukyo is able to do some stuff, but he is so minuscule in comparison to the other cores. And unfortunately for him, it's kind of like one of these scenarios where it is all on him to just go absolutely sick in some of these team fights. But at the end of the day, sometimes you like, it's impossible for you to go crazy in all of these fights just because of how much net worth you have to try and get through, right? So it is a very dire task right now for Ukyo to try and win this game. They can try and get it done, but it's going to have to be off the back of some very clinical pickoffs and then them slowly starting to choke the map back into their own favor. Because if they fight 5v5, like, they're going to lose every single time. Team fight's too strong from Team Disillusion. Their catch is too good. Their control's too strong. Their cores do too much damage. So IGV need to try and find some pickoffs where they can.
It's not going to be easy though, because Radiant, they're looking to continue to get the ball rolling. You sense the victory is just potentially one fight away, and maybe this smoke might be able to get you towards that finish line. Ponyo's probably going to be the first point of contact though. In fact, he'll still be able to sneak on away. So they might go to the high ground instead, where Hara is waiting. I think they just got a glimpse of the Pugna. No vision on the high ground though. Does make this jump a little bit more awkward.
All right. Let's walk in.
And they get a freebie. For Hara, gonna do against a good old Disruptor. Oh, they're just gonna go for the throne. All right, what's the response? What can you do, TZY? He'll try and smoke to set himself up on a potential jump on the back line. Aaron's gonna drop the static storm. It's a little bit late though, but it might cover the push. Meanwhile, there we go. There we go. That's the tool they've been waiting for. Is it enough? They get the kill. That is huge for them to defend, but you still got small KK in the call. Just go for the jugular. They've killed off Ukyo. There's no Morphling they have to be worried about. It's going to be TZY and Butterfly Effect against the world. But small KK, along with the Doom, they can turn beat on the throne. A DC before a GG. All the throne blows up. You hate to see it.
Yeah, I mean, they know the game's over. Unfortunately for Hara, just wanted to get out of that.